Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here to present you my deck I played at the German Open 2 days ago in Frankfurt and also played the week before at locals, and I think it's a very interesting deck and I had a lot of fun playing it in the new format of Drizzels and Malice. And yeah, I went 7-3 at the German Open, started 5-0, sadly lost then 3 in a row, finished place 46 with a score of 7-3 total. But I also won 2 locals 4-0 the week before, so I think the deck is quite cool and it's none of the new expensive cards, so maybe it's something you can try out. And let's go into the deck list. So I played very interesting deck called Runick Fiend Smith. So Runic engine is something a lot of you haven't seen in a while because it's not that popular anymore and it's not that strong. But I thought I found a way to give it a shot to make it a very good Drizzels matchup. Sadly, the Malice matchup is not that good, but yeah, I had a lot of fun with it and it worked well for me. So I played the standard Runics of 3 tips, 3 slumber, 3 flashing fire, 3 destruction, 3 freezing curses and 2 fountain. Sadly, only plays for 15 runic quick spells in the main decks and the 2 fountains. I really wish I had more space for runics, but I think you need a critical mass of non-engine in the current format, otherwise you don't have a chance against Drizzels. So I decided to play the runics and additionally 12 handships. And then there is not a lot of space for engine, so I really had to cut it down, and I really wanted to play 40 cards in this deck because I think you really want to see a fountain and tip and freezing curses, because tip and freezing curses are like your main detonator outs, because flashing fire is not enough there. So those are the part of the Runic deck. Then I played another cool small engine. I played 4 Musketeers. I played 3 Starfire and 1 Calamity. I think those cards are really cool. If you open 1 or 2 Runics and Starfire, you can do the crazy combo that you summon Starfire, then you do a Runic in the Starfire column, you summon Calamity, then you can go into Hugin, search this one, then you can do Moon, Requiem, do your Fiend Smith stuff, then later you can activate the second Runic in the Calamity column, you can chain block your Fountain, you can Calamity resummon the Starfire, you can make rank 4 exceeds later, so you get a lot of value and you can draw a lot of cards with that. So I thought this engine was really cool because you have so many spells to trigger that engine. And going second, if you have any of the Musketeers, you can go into max and summon like 2 monsters or 1 depending if you draw the Calamity or the Starfire, and you get a lot of value. I also tested playing a Casper, like Joshua Schmidt played at Anaheim with like 2 Starfire and 2 Casper, but I decided for the Runic Bolt, Calamity is a bit better because you can like discard, if you have like multiple muskets, you can discard them for Hugin and then you can just revive them. But yeah, only drawing Calamity is not the best, but that's fine. So 4 Musketeers. And then I played a pretty big Fiend Smith engine. Played 3 Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Lorry, 1 Tract, and 1 Paradise. Especially Paradise is really important. Even if you draw it, you can discard it. But you can also like set it up in the opponent's turn with Requiem Lacrima. At the beginning, I also tested multiple Lacrimas, but I had to cut down on normal summons because I played the Muskets and I also played like the Runic engine to draw into more engine. So I think this ratio was perfect for me. And yeah, I'm really happy with them. You need to play those cards in the current format in most decks, I think, because you get like a lot of ceiling, you can grind a lot. And the aspect of grinding with defensive cards, with the Runic cards, was like the main reason for me to play this deck. Because I think if you play it correctly and your opponent maybe do a few mistakes, you have like a very strong matchup into both Drizzels and Drizzels Fiendsmith. And the last 12 cards are handships. I played the best handships in my opinion. I played 3 Nip, 3 Ash, 3 Imperm, and 3 Perch. The only card I was not that happy with was Imperm, because if you go first and you establish Runic Fountain, this card is not live if you draw it on your opponent's turn. But it was good for me going second, especially as the card number 6, to like negate Detonator, and I think you need to have critical amount of outs to both Detonator and Duo Drive, because if Duo Drive resolve and they get to the field spell, it's like very hard to grind with Drizzels, especially if they have like additional handships on top. Going forward, I would maybe change the imprims for Bestials, because I will show you in the extract that I did not main deck Chaos Angel, but I think that's something for going forward. But in general, I was happy. You can even activate Dominus Purge if you draw it in the opponent's turn with Fountain. So I think this card was very strong, and the restriction that you cannot activate like Fire, Dark, and Water effects is of course a problem, but it's not that dangerous. So if you have like Ash and Purge, you just Ash first. And a lot of times you also have this like turn 1, you can set it, and then you can just activate it without having any restrictions. And yeah, especially if you have like Purge Imperm, it's like very cool that you can Imperm them first and then Purge even destroy something like a Duo Driver, so you get like a lot of value. But yeah, plays for 12 hand traps together with the 15 Runics. It's like a lot of non-engine. If you count the Runics as non-engine, so that was very cool for me. Then let's go quick for the extra deck. I played only 3 Runics. Runic fusions to Yugen and 1 Gary. Gary is very important to make Chaos Angel and to like survive in battle phase, and Yugen of course needed Zada. I tried Moonin, I tried Sleipnir. I think they're really cool in theory, but I have no space. I already siding extra deck cards, and in theory I would like to play like over 20 extra deck cards to get like the full utility of the extra deck, but sadly there is no space for that. So the 3 Runics. Then we played the Fiendsmith engine, we played Moon, Requiem, Sequence, Arcanum Day. I think it's really important to close out games if you get the battle phase eventually. And then Desert Ray, Necrocrypt, so like the full package. You can play without Arcanum Day, but I think it makes it like very good to like grind games to establish a big board, especially since you don't have like a battle phase turn 3 often. And then I played Max, because you play the Musket cards. It's like very good for going first and going second. It's a light fiend, so you can just like summon a Musketeer, even if it gets hand trapped, or if you don't have a Runic, you can just go into Max and to Requiem into like your Fiend Smith engine. I played SP, was good for me to outing random stuff, or you make it in the opponent's turn. I also main decked this tournament in different sleeves, you can see them, I'll explain that later. I main decked IP, because you have many lines, especially if you open like a Musket double Runic and maybe even Engraver, or you have access to like the Fiend Smith engine later. That you can do like a very big board containing like the rank 6 I went for last this time, maybe even DS array and IP on top. Or if you get nipped at some point before you have the possibility to go into rank 6, because most often if you have like Necrocrypt and Engraver on the field, you are threatening Caesar, and that's the point where people nip you. And afterwards you have the token, and then you can just like summon Runic fusion, and then you make IP, and then the opponent's turn you can do Lacrima, target Requiem, resummon Requiem, Lacrima, and then you can make IP into SP. So I think that was like a very cool interruption. But going forward, I would maybe change the Lars for Caesar again, because I was side decking that, and I thought Lars is like better against pure Raziel, because you cannot target him with Aggregator, so if they start with X, it's not automatically outing the rank 6, but against Malice and against like the Fiendsmith version, Caesar is like far better. Then I played Typhon, and the last card I just got onto on Friday thanks to pack was Dugaris, and Dugaris was like really cool with the Musketeers, especially with playing Gary. Then you can like summon 3-4 level 4 monsters. Lacrima is also a level 4. When you can Calamity resummon Starfire, you can just make Dugaris, draw into more Runics, draw into more cards. Sometimes you can even resolve like 2 or 3 fountains in one turn. So in general, I was very happy with the extra deck. But going forward, I would probably exchange IP and Lars for the 2 side deck cards, or the 2 extra deck cards I was siding. So I'm gonna start with them, and they were Chaos Angel and Lars and Caesar. I would probably main deck the Caesar going forward and maybe not play Lars at all. So you have like an additional space in the side deck, and I would also main deck the Chaos Angel and just side the IP for going first, because if I went second, I was siding it out anyway. And I was not sure how many Raziel I faced, so I thought maybe I can just side deck the Chaos Angel and side deck the Caesar for like Fiendsmith decks and Malice. But I was most likely only facing Raziel and Malice or Fiendsmith decks, so I think yeah, Caesar is good, especially if most of my Raziel opponents were playing Fiendsmith Raziel. So yeah, this is part of the extra inside deck. And then the remaining cards were 5 Charmies. Purulia is not that strong in the current format, and you don't want to see 3 of them or so I think 5 is like a good ratio, and Fuvros is definitely more important. You can also think about main decking Fuva, because if you draw it, you can just discard it for Hugin, but I think you also need to draw into like life cards on your opponent's turn, so that's the ratio I went for. You could possibly change it a bit, but I was happy with it. Then I sided 3 Lancia for Malice. I sided 2 more Runics. As I said, I wanted to play more Runics in the main deck for going first, together with the Callby. I was usually siding out Imperms in the Raziel matchup for those 3 cards, because if you draw the Imperms on turn 2 with the Runics, they're dead. And the last 2 cards were 2 Dogwoods, and I think it was like the MVP of the tournament, also of the locals before. I think in total over like the 18 rounds I played in total with 2 locals and the German Open, I went 15 and 3. And out of 18 rounds, I think I won 4 rounds with Dogwood alone, because Runic decks take a long time to kill. and also people are not familiar anymore with them. They surrender too late, or they are still keep grinding in unwinnable game states, and therefore they often get hit with Dogwood game 3, or even game 1, game 2 if you win. And then combo decks like Malice or so go first with like 15 minutes left. You can just Dogwood them and you get like a lot of life points, and then you can start to grind with the Runics, and maybe it's enough. It's a bit like the Tealman strategy I used to play in my other decks. But yeah, that's the deck list. I have a few cards I want to go over. I would maybe change in the future. I would maybe remove the Imperms and play Drizzels, because with all the Fiendsmith decks, even Nico played like Fiendsmith Malice and got 2nd place. A lot of Fiendsmith Ryziol, Fiendsmith Kashtira, so the Drizzels are really good. And especially if I decide to main deck the Chaos Angel going forward, I think the Drizzels are really cool, because you have a lot of Fiendsmith engines, you have the Drizzels, so you can make even a light dark Chaos Angel, you have additional effects from them to generate advantage to remove special summon monsters. Yeah, so that's like a very good option for the future. And I think I also need to play a third Dogwood, because this card was just amazing, and maybe cut down on some extra cards. So yeah, that's it for the deck list. I want to give some shoutouts. Shoutouts to my team United Causes, of course. We played the German Open together, and I was testing with them before. And my friend Tim got 5th place. My teammate Kevin got 6th, so it was a very successful tournament for us. And yeah, it was a very strong showing of the team overall, I would say. Shoutouts to my girlfriend, who was filming the profile and is always supporting me. Shoutouts to my friend from my testing circle, Rocket Hideout, especially to Michael. Michael won the German Open, and I'm super happy for him winning with Fiend Smith. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna do more videos in the future. Stay tuned, and peace out.